Good morning and Swadika. Swadika. So please settle down fast. So welcome to day 2. Just a few reminders. We have handed over the yesterday's declaration to everyone who all were present earlier. But the thing, we have kept it, rest of them, we have kept it over there on the table on your left. Kindly take your copy. Also, water and paper and pencil is kept there in case you need it to take notes. Okay? So let's begin. I welcome all esteemed guests and delegates to day 2 of Hindu Media Conference. We are now starting with session 3, Digital Media, Leveling the Playing Field. I would like to invite our session chair, Shri Jitarth J Bharadwaj, founder and editor-in-chief, the Australia Today, and the 3 speakers, and the 3 speakers, Shri Anuj Bharadwaj, co-founder, Aaj Ki Taza Khabar, Smt Nupur J Sharma, editor-in-chief, OpIndia, and Shri M Vinodh Kumar, founder, String, onto the stage, please. Can we have a round of applause? Jitarth J Bharadwaj is a bilingual journalist with an impressive track record spanning over 2 decades in TV, radio, and digital journalism across Bharat, Japan, and Australia. He is the founder and editor-in-chief of Australia Today Network Proprietary Limited and co-founder of Kula Press. He has previously worked for Zee News, Sahara TV, TV 18 News, and NewsX in Bharat, and SBS News in Australia. With a passion for impactful journalism and a dedication to fostering cross-cultural dialogue, Jai continues to shape the media landscape and promote a deeper understanding of the diverse world we live in. I now invite Jitarji to conduct the session, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. Yep. Thank you, Vikram, for sending all those messages and holding up with us for us not responding, including Nupur coming late today. So that's all right. We'll handle it. Let's get to the serious business. Me and my fellow panelists are standing here just because a phenomenal change is happening because of the digital media or digital revolution in last 10 years or so. When I started as a journalist in India, the OB van used to be as big as this room. It was a kind of a double-decker bus which used to produce, what is a OB van? Is out broadcast van. And we used to do mostly the election coverage through that bus. And when today a young lady is sitting in front of me and she's broadcasting it live from her phone. This is what live media is today. And I have gone through that journey of writing in newspaper, then for TV, and then for radio in Japan, then looking after the revolution of HD TV. I was in Japan when 2001 and 2, they launched their first HD TV with Fuji TV Incorporation. It was mind-boggling how things were changing, but learning is thing, and now we have learned this mobile thingy also. Until 3.5 years back, I used to work in a very comfortable, cozy job as editor with SBS News in Australia. However, things were changing. They were not pushy. And I resigned because unknowingly Nupur Sharma forced me to resign. I blame it to her. I mean, she ran a hashtag called anti-Hindu rights in Delhi. And I thought it's the right thing. And I used that, and I did few stories. And there was a whole big inquiry set up why I was using it. Yes. Then that was the start of it. Then when Arnab's thing happened, we had a journalist in Australia who was kind of incarcerated in Egypt. So we were having, as a member of journalist community, we were having a lot of debates, and we had a meeting, we had placards, free the journalists, blah, 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 free journalism. Fantastic, I was part of it in front with picture. And couple of weeks later, Arnab thing happened, and I posted with the same placard, free the journalism, put a picture and hashtag whatever, whatever. And then again, my outlet received 150 emails saying that I support violent Hindutva and its supporters. This is Australia, okay? Most people will not understand that this happens in Australia. However, it did. So, incidentally, they forced me, they made me so pale that I quit. I can't work there. And then came this digital thingy. COVID happened, and COVID, I was not very sure. I mean, I never wanted to do something of my own, because job is best thing. You know, you go at 9, after your broadcast by 6 p.m., nobody will give you a phone call. If you are having a weekend, Mondays morning, 10 o'clock, nobody can call you before that. It's a lovely life. But I thought, if I will not raise voice, then nobody will. In course of 7 years, almost being at SBS, there have been a number of stories which I had fight, like any newsroom. I don't mind it. In India also, I had fight with my editors for stories which I wanted to do, and they take executive decision that, no, this is not what we want to do. That's all right, I don't mind it. But then COVID taught us that I could work from home. I was running the whole SBS News radio network from home. Everyone was broadcasting from home. It was so interconnected. That technology just mesmerized me. And that also helped me to go away from my routine thing. And then we launched something called The Australia Today. Why it was not India Today or Indian Life or India something, or South Asia as fashionable in Western countries? No, because by now I'm an Australian citizen, and I want to be part of that system and raise my voice and raise my concern within that system there, for people, for Hindus who are living there. So we named it Australia Today. It was a bumpy ride, and if I could see, I'm not sure whether he's sitting here, Karthik Arasu. I didn't name it Australia Today. He is the person who named it Australia Today. We were looking for different names, and he said, how about Australia Today? Then I just put the in front of us, so we made it the Australia Today. So even the name is borrowed. I don't have any intellect around those things. But what I had was, understanding how to write a story. In last 3 years we'll have in January 15th, we'll have, look, please give a round of applause to that man. This is Karthik Arasu. He's the reason because I could do it. I mean, not much, but he used to abuse me every day that you should be doing it. Not because of anything else, because he told me that we need that. If you will not write the story, then who will? And in last 3 years, I have seen the stories which we have done, nobody else. We have forced, we have forced everyone else to understand this power of digital media and our voice. Anyways, I have been told that time is crucial. We are already late, so take note of that. It's enough about me. If you haven't liked Australia Today, I'll encourage you to like it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever you can. Because if you don't like it, nobody else will. Believe me, yeah. You are my people. If you are not standing with me, or I'm not standing with you, nobody else will. That laddu, somebody told me, I want you to be that laddu, the hard one, not the soft one. Hard laddu around me, so that nobody else can break me or break anyone of us. You know what? In last, for Nupur, maybe 4 years or 5 years, in last 4.5, 5 years, we have got more threats than most people can imagine. Those threats are not normal threats. Those threats are life threats. AFP, Australian Federal Police, is parking a car in front of my house because I can be killed. This is what we face, but we will do it. We will do it because because we are the soldiers of this dharma, Hindu dharma. All right, there is next person there. He's no different to me. His name is Anuj Bharadwaj. I am Jitarth Bharadwaj. So I love that. And he was also one point in time thinking to join police. So I love that another point, you know. When I was starting 3 years back, I came to know Anuj just because some friend like Karthik told me that we should have a podcast called Aaj Ki Taza Khabar. And then I was introduced to his podcast, and it is fabulous. He has faced everything, but he's on that path, the karma, he's right there. Thank you, Anuj, for doing what you are doing. And another beautiful lady here, with glasses now, Nupur Sharma. I mean, please, please, keep it going, keep it going. Brave as it can be. This is what Nupur Sharma means to me. I mean, goosebumps. She is the editor-in-chief for OpIndia, the name which makes people shiver. If she's working on a story, if people know that, then they understand that they have to change their path. She has forced a lot of people to withdraw the stories. Cases are there. I'm facing a case from a number of people. She's facing few beautiful cases, but not deterred. Thank you, Nupur. Thank you, and welcome here. Another man in panel, I'm so proud of this gentleman, Vinodh Kumar. You know what? This morning when I woke up, I switched on my data because they are giving 1 GB data only for the whole day. So I switched on the data on this morning, and the first message which I opened was somebody writing to me, "Jai bhai, check this. Vinodh has put another video, check this out." So this is the reach, this is the work which he does. Sting, if you haven't liked it, please follow Sting. We are still on Twitter. He'll tell the rest of the story. I don't want to take the plot away. But what is very unique with him, a soft-spoken man, he talks like this, "Anna, will you do it?" He's so good. I wanted to be like this, but I'm loud. I love loud, though, but that's okay. He's a disciple of, time's up, but I'll still use 1 more minute. He's disciple of Sadhguru, which probably makes him more in-depth with that dharma knowledge, what he does. He's fantastic, as I understand, a very good video editor and VFX artist. I would love to learn this. I have no idea how to do it. My graphs are really bad. Please teach me. But I'll keep it open now, and we will not take much time. Time is up, but we will take the maximum time for you guys to ask these warriors of Hindu Dharma through these digital mediums. They will answer each and every question, but I will request you, please ask the question. Statements, leave it to us. We will make so many statements, 5 degrees below of something. But I'll call upon Anuj Bharadwaj. Please put your hand together for Anuj Bharadwaj here. Thank you, Anuj.
सभी को प्रणाम, नमस्ते. So, first of all, thank you very much, World Hindu Congress, for organizing this wonderful event. And मैं कोई वक्ता नहीं हूँ जो शब्दों के सागर में गोते लगाकर कुछ ऐसे शब्द आपके सामने रख दूँ कि आप 4 दिन उसके बारे में सोचते रहें. मैं केवल अपना अनुभव, अपने विचार और जो मैंने पिछले कुछ सालों में सीखा है, जो मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है, I will put in front of you guys. And okay.
Please bear, Anuj will be talking in kind of English. Please bear with him. Thank you so much.
Okay, so basically, the topic which I have been provided is the new frontiers of YouTube and mobile journalism, right? So, first of all, I would like to talk about the shifting patterns of the journalism. And to discuss this topic, we have to go back 10 to 15 years, and let's see how was the journalism that time, how was the media working that time. So let's talk about the period 2000 to 2010. So an incident happened. There was a lot of information. Some cozy media guys who were sitting in the Noida studios, they will pick some information out of that. They will beam that information in front of you guys, in front of the common people, and according to that, the narrative was made. That narrative was discussed the next day in the work offices, in the colleges, in the society. And that was how the whole narrative of the society was made by some cozy media channels, by some media editors. And that was the whole game. But that is shifting now. You can always see, the Hindu terror, the saffron terror. That was the narrative that time. But the things are changing. How? So, now 46 crore people, 460 million people are using YouTube. in India. They are on YouTube. And according to statistica.com, average consumer in USA is using 1.45 hours of content daily through YouTube or through digital mediums. One more data, 66% of people in USA are using these videos on the digital medium as their primary source of information. So the things are changing. The perception which was made by a cozy, which was made by a media personality in a cozy room for everyone has changed. Why? So, what were the bottlenecks? Bottlenecks while the media was making the perception for everyone. The bottlenecks were these three things. The expensive machinery, the expensive cameras, the expensive mics, the OB vans, everything. The common people was not able to afford any of these things. How did the narrative is changing? Because of these two things. Yeah. So everyone got the smartphone in their hands. Everyone got the camera. Everyone got the smartphone. And smartphone are, it's like anyone can purchase under 10,000 a good smartphone with good camera. And Jio came in 2016. So Jio changed everything. So we have 46 crore people on YouTube these days, in India only. So this is because of Jio, because they are consuming a lot of data. 1.5 GB data every day is free. So, and this basically turned every citizen into a journalist, because these days, if there is a fire in the factory, someone is recording it from his rooftop, and that particular video is being used by the media channels. So things are, changing, and things have changed. And that is how AKTK was born. This is our first video in 2018, and we were using a smartphone, a 500 rupees mic, you can see that, and a rooftop light. That's it. That was AKTK's first video. Yeah. But it was, the journey for the last 4 years is not without challenges. AKTK started as the fact readers. We were reading, facts from certain websites. But in 6 months, we changed our program to the whole story analyst. We became the whole story analyst, full story analyst. And we faced certain challenges in this whole journey. Funds, the second thing is, you can see, is the bans we got from YouTube, the demonetized videos. And there was several months, we were not earning anything. I was an engineer. Prior to joining this profession, I was an engineer. I was a software engineer in a software firm. Then we left our job along with my brother, and we started this. So YouTube bans videos, YouTube bans channels, and YouTube is they will demonetize anything which is not going according to their narrative. Then we have, several IT cells which are behind you, which are, reporting your channels. There are legal things. We got a notice from NDTV, 1 crore notice on email. So they wanted us to remove the videos which were showing the footage of their prime anchor. We refused it, and the videos are still there. Then we got threats. Everyone got threats here. So the threats are, we were covering the Khalistan issue, we were covering the General Singh Bhindranwala. So that time, we got a lot of threats from people. And what happened when we faced everything? We got this. From 2019 to 2023, we are having 5 channels right now. We are covering the, reports and media analysis. We are having a podcast channel. We are having comedy shows, Saturday night comedy shows, the Vogue show. Then we are, covering a show named The Red Files, which is in the documentary formats. And we are making documentary films. So from, the whole journey is from, I started as an engineer, my career. Then we moved to this, and now we are making documentary films. In 2021, we released a documentary film named The Silence of Swastika. So that is rated 9.4 on IMDb. And it has been seen by over 1 million people. And we shot it in, deserts. We shot it in front of the, lakes. We shot it in Jaisalmer. So that is available on YouTube. That is a full-length 50-minute film. And what it has done. So I would like to tell you that after this film was released, this film is basically on the issue of Hitler using the symbol, which everyone calls swastik. But that is not the case. That was a different symbol named Hakenkreuz, or hooked cross. So we made a film on that, and after the release of this film, the issue was discussed in the Canadian Parliament. In one state of Australia, they are now, differentiating between Hakenkreuz and swastik. By law it is there. In California, it is again, there is a difference now by law. So I'm not saying that, this happened because of this film. There are a lot of people who are, who have worked to bring this change. But I can surely say that after this film was released, the things went very fast. Because now because I was, watching yesterday also, there is a new Hindi film coming. A prime, very good actor is there, very good star in the Bollywood industry. So they're using a swastik logo behind, while he was, So while someone is saying that I'm going to kill that person, and he's using a, swastik logo behind that. So people are trolling that person by, pasting a link of that movie, this film. So this changed things, and this is basically our journey, fact readers to documentary filmmakers. And now in the future, we are trying for a full-fledged media house. This is our prime goal. You can see the journey, 2019 to, this is our recent video, which we are making a documentary film on Chhatrapati Shivaji. So we shot a scene, and this is the basic journey. And the topic, the future. So basically, what I see as the future of the whole thing is there are several OTT platforms. People are coming up with their own platforms. AKTK will, I'm announcing from here, AKTK is going to open their own platform next year. And yeah, we are already working in that direction. I'm personally working on a documentary film which is on 1857 incidents. So that will be, and these are not short documentaries. These will be like docudramas. There will be 3 to 5 episodes. There will be documentary films, and the creators on YouTube, on digital medium, are coming up with feature films also. Not only documentary films. There are several creators on YouTube who have already made feature films. So, within the very near future, people like String, Vinodana, AKTK, or even Pracham is working in that same direction. Maybe within the next 5 years, we may be in that position to make feature films also. Because feature films are the things which create the subtle narrative in the minds of people. So I would like to, end it here. I would like to say the last line in Hindi. The Hindu Samaj, at times I feel that they are like the pigeons, they are like the kabutar. There is a cat coming in their direction. वो अपनी आंखें बंद कर लेते हैं और वो सोचते हैं कि खतरा नहीं है. नहीं. हम कबूतर नहीं हैं, हम जटायु हैं.
You guys are ready to be Jatayu? Okay, let's move forward. This journey of Anuj, Vinodh, Nupur, me, and every one of you is a collective one. So see it, listen to it as a collective journey. And maybe somewhere our paths cross each other. Please put your hand together for Nupur Sharma.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you to World Hindu Congress for getting so many luminaries together. It's a little nerve-wracking to speak here when you know that there are so many people who are listening to you. Now, a little context. When Jitarth said that 5 degrees less of something, so last night we were all sitting and discussing how this panel would go. And I asked Vikramji if there's any no-go zone during this conference. To his credit, he said, no, there's nothing. It's all good. You can say whatever you want. But I could hear that slight hesitation in his voice, which I hear with everybody when I am about to take the stage. So I said, don't worry, Vikramji. Whatever I say will be 5 degrees less than Sar Tan Se Juda. So we will not go to Sar Tan Se Juda level. Everything we say will be 5 degrees lower. So don't worry. But to his credit and to World Hindu Congress's credit, there was no-go zone, and I was allowed to say anything that I wish. So maybe we should start with that. Now, Yatharji was very generous in his introduction of OpIndia and me. But just to give you some context, I'd like to say that Rahul Roshan is sitting here. He's my CEO, he's my boss, he's my mentor. I am an accidental journalist because I had no plan whatsoever to be a part of this fraternity. I had no plan whatsoever to be in this stream. One fine day when my baby was 6-7 months old, I think, and I was running my family business, I get a call from Rahul saying that, do you want to do this? I said, I mean, it sounds great, but I have no idea how. I have no background. He said, no, wo sab ho jayega. I'll teach you whatever you have to learn. But do you want to do this? I said, sure. And overnight, I dropped my family business, much to the chagrin of my father. And I joined OpIndia. And the snowballing of OpIndia is a phenomenon that has surprised even me. So I think the first time I truly realized what a crime it was not to be a journalist, but to be a journalist and a media platform that very openly says that we are going to document the crimes against Hindus, was for me personally my experience in Bengal. So when I started working with OpIndia, I was in Bengal. I've been born and brought up in Calcutta. And right smack in the middle of COVID, we get a notice for my husband to be interrogated by the local police. Now, I was wondering why my husband, he's the most innocuous, peace-loving person who's not related to any of this. I thought maybe, he must have gone out to pick my daughter up from school, must have got into a scuffle, who knows. But when he goes there to the police station, we find out that it is about OpIndia, because I had unfortunately used one SIM card which was registered to his name. Now, he was interrogated for hours over certain reports. He said he doesn't know anything because he's not connected to OpIndia. And he came back. And we thought that was that. It was over. The same evening, I get a summons from Lal Bazaar Rowdy Department. Lal Bazaar is the headquarters of Calcutta Police. And we get a summons for my husband and myself for the next day. I call up Rahul and I tell him that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've never faced an interrogation before. But he said, just go with it. Hopefully they won't beat you up. And if they do beat you up, he urged me to take videos of it. So I go for the interrogation. And for hours we were interrogated. We were asked questions about 3 reports. One was a report where there was a video of a COVID patient being discarded in a residential area in Calcutta. And we had covered that. The other was about an incident from years ago about Azan being played at a Durga Puja pandal. There was a video of it. This was not a figment of our imagination. And the third FIR was about our coverage of the Telinipara riots. In Telinipara, Hindus had come under attack by a Muslim mob. Now, again, I was telling Yatharji yesterday that just so that we don't get censored, we use the word Islamist instead of Muslim. But since Vikramji has given me a free hand, 5 degrees less than Sartan se juda, I will use a Muslim mob instead of saying Islamist. So, Hindus came under attack, and I was essentially interrogated about those reports. In between, the cameras were kindly shut off, and I was told, and I was informed about the dire consequences of us not pulling those reports down and us not towing the line, essentially. When we came back, Rahul and I cracked a few dark jokes about me going to jail or me, something worse happening. We cracked a few dark jokes. That's how we cope with all the threats. And we got back to work. Thankfully, Supreme Court gave us a stay. 1 year later, Mamata Banerjee won again. And 2021, the post-poll violence was as brutal as, dare I say, the direct action day. I'd have you know that there's a lot of violence that will never be reported and that cannot be reported. I have spoken to victims who were gang raped, minor victims who were gang raped and thrown on the streets. They took shelter in temples. This went on for days. There were girls who were Hindu girls, minors, who were standing at the side of the road. Muslim TMC workers would drive past on a bike and tear their clothes open. None of us could report this because the victims would not come on record. The police would not file an FIR. The NHRC never got to these victims, sadly, because these victims have no place to go. They have nothing to say. And therefore, these will never be formal reports. When this post-poll violence was happening, I interviewed a girl. She came on video. She covered her face, and she came on video, that brave girl, to talk about her ordeal during the post-poll violence. She said that one day, these Muslim men from TMC came to her house and said, "Hame Hindu ladkiyan chahiye." They forced their way into the house. They gang raped her by holding the father at gunpoint and forcing him to watch. After she was gang raped, and while she was being gang raped, she kept pleading to at least leave her father. The father was beaten and held at gunpoint and forced to watch, as I said. After that, he took off whatever he was tying on his head. He covered her up, and they escaped. For weeks after that, she would wear a burqa before going out in public because she didn't want people to know that she was a Hindu. Because if people knew she was a Hindu, she might have been brutalized again. No FIR was filed for this coverage of mine because the victim was on record. But what happened was that mysteriously, a 4th FIR from 2020 when I was interrogated suddenly surfaced and was ceremoniously handed over to the CID. When it was handed over to the CID and we got the notice, we were told by well-meaning individuals who were in the know and were highly placed that the only safe option for me was to leave my motherland. My motherland because my homeland, because my family has been there for over 100 years. Overnight, my husband, my daughter, and we left Calcutta and we shifted to Delhi. There was a bout of dark jokes again about how we were sad that we might not be interrogated again because that would have made for a good story. But that is the cost you pay for covering crimes against Hindus. We never went back. I never went back to Calcutta. I've been in Delhi for the past 2.5 years. And one needs to understand why this really happens. When you're reporting conflict, when you're reporting strife between Hindus and Muslims, you come from a place where you want to hear all sides. Of course, who wouldn't? We chose a method which was slightly different. Before going to the obvious perpetrators, we went to the obvious victims. And that was the biggest crime we did, according to the liberal global cabal. Instead of asking the Muslim perpetrator, "Aapne aisa kyun kiya?" Like Barkhada did, if you remember. She went to interview a Kashmiri stone pelter, and that Kashmiri stone pelter is screaming, "Maine Islam ke liye kiya, maine Islam ke liye kiya." And she's like, "नहीं, आपने इस्लाम के लिए नहीं किया, आपने तो कश्मीर के लिए किया, आपने कश्मीर की आज़ादी के लिए किया, आपने कश्मीरी के हक के लिए किया." So our biggest crime was not going to that Muslim perpetrator and understanding the angst because of which he is persecuting and killing and raping Hindus, and going to the Hindu victim and asking, "What happened when you were raped?" Going to the family and asking, "What happened when your son was beheaded?" That was our greatest crime. Since the subject is challenges when you're covering crimes against Hindus, the biggest challenge is, of course, that you're hounded. And since I have only 1 minute left, I have a lot to say. This could probably be a 1 hour speech. But I will quickly go through the challenges that you face. When you're reporting in conflict, I think the biggest challenge is that the victim is unwilling to come on record. The victims are unwilling to come on record for several reasons. As I said, as a woman, you can understand, I can understand why a rape victim would not want to come on record, would not want to tell the world what happened to her. In Delhi riots, Delhi anti-Hindu riots also, a lot of witnesses dropped out because during the riots, they had been persecuted, they had been attacked by their Muslim neighbors. Now, if they come on record and become a witness to what happened, they have to live there with their Muslim neighbors in perpetuity. So they don't know tomorrow the same mob can come to them and start beating them up, burning their shops, raping their mothers, their sisters, their daughters. And therefore, for the witness, it becomes very difficult to come on record. That's the first challenge you face. The other is the perpetrators and how their network fuels disinformation. We saw that during Delhi anti-Hindu riots. The conspiracy started on 5th December. There are perpetrators like Tahir Hussain on record saying that the riot happened because we wanted to teach Kafirs a lesson. And the entire global media turned it into an anti-Muslim pogrom. And sadly, we don't have that network. Sadly, the one media house that you're saddled with who spoke about Delhi anti-Hindu riots is OpIndia and other platforms like Swarajya. Beyond that, we don't have a global network. If we think that sometime in the future we'll be able to perfect the art of gathering global support like perhaps the Jews have, you're sadly mistaken. The Jews are still monotheists, you're polytheists. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to talk about your angst. Nobody is coming to talk about your persecution. The other one is very interesting. Every time there's a crime, the police goes on record to say, "Oh, there is no communal angle." If you remember, in 2021, Rinku Sharma was murdered. He was a Bajrang Dal activist. He was a Bajrang Dal worker. I'll just take 2 more minutes to wrap up. He was a Bajrang Dal worker. He was collecting donation for Ram Mandir, and he was stabbed by a Muslim mob. Dilshad, Faizan, and a few others were arrested, all Muslim names. The police said that there was no communal angle, and the scuffle broke out at a birthday party. And there was a argument about the birthday party. Now, communal angle it's not necessary that the person who's persecuting you is necessarily going to shout Allahu Akbar while stabbing you. On ground, communal strife is built over many, many months and many, many years. It's not that very moment necessarily. So in Rinku Sharma's case, the parents were screaming that he's constantly hounded and threatened by the Muslims of the area. There is a palpable communal strife. There's palpable communal hate in their area because of Ram Mandir. And yet, the police did not pay heed. Yet, the police said that there was no communal angle. Now, the moment the police said there was no communal angle, we went to the ground, we spoke to the family, we spoke to the Hindus of the neighborhood, and all of them told us, this is communal. He was killed because he's Hindu. He was killed because he was collecting donations for Ram Mandir, and that is that. Maybe the scuffle broke out at a birthday party, and the argument was something else when he was stabbed, but he was hated because he was doing what he did. The danger is that when we report that, we start counting backwards and waiting for an FIR. How dare you say there is a communal angle when we have said there isn't? How dare you tell us what the mother thinks? Who's the mother? She's not the police. She's not us. She's not investigating. So that's the greatest threat, that the police takes a cop out by saying that there is no communal angle because they don't want to upset the perennially upset and the perennially offended and the perennially hurt Muslim denomination of our country. The last is the assumption that Hindus cannot ever be victims. We can't be victims because we are more in number. We constitute 80%, I don't know, I'm sure we are not 80%. If you take out the leftists, we are probably 50%, 40%. But the assumption is that Hindus are more in number compared to the Muslims, and therefore we cannot ever be the victims. We are the fascists who are persecuting the Muslims, because of which they are in turn killing us and raping us, because that is the language of the oppressed. We've seen this argument with Hamas. When Hamas went on a rampage against the Israelis and the Jews, it was said that this is the language of the oppressed. You've oppressed them for so long, the poor things, that now they have to kill you, they have to rape you, they have to behead you. How else are they going to express their angst? Sushil ji is sitting here. I'd like to ask him how many Kashmiri Hindus went on a rampage beheading Muslims. I don't think anybody did. They've been persecuted. That's not the language of the oppressed. But that's how the Muslim community gets a pass. So when the assumption kicks in that Hindus cannot be the victims because of their numbers, any crime against a Hindu becomes an expression of the angst of the wronged and an act against the perpetrator itself. So now Hindus have globally become the fascists. And once that narrative is crafted that we are the fascists, our rape, our murder, our mob lynching, riots, our temples being broken, beef being force-fed to women in love jihad cases, all of this is whitewashed because nobody is going to feel sympathetic. अरे आप तो fascist हैं, you deserve this. अगर आप fascist नहीं होते तो ये बेचारे मासूम से मुसलमान जो 1000 साल से यही कर रहे हैं, लेकिन मासूम से मुसलमान जिनके मन में इतनी पीड़ा है, they are so perplexed by how they are being marginalized by the fascist Hindu. ये आपका rape नहीं करते. Now, we are the worst genociders in history, by the way, Hindus. If we are genociding the Muslims, we are doing a bloody terrible job at it because their sankhya keeps increasing every month. So I'm sorry, Hindus, you're terrible fascists. You've utterly failed at being fascists. But the point is that nobody is coming to hear your angst and nobody is coming to hear your persecution because you're by default the persecutor who's been given his due by the Muslim Samaj. And I have a lot more to say, but my time's up. Maybe we can take it up later. But in conclusion, I'll say one thing. There is a lot that we whitewash ourselves as Hindus because we have to. We say Islamists instead of Muslim mob because we don't want Google to censor us. We don't want social media to censor us because hate speech flows only towards the Muslim community. We have historically seen Muslims take to the street and assert their street veto. It is almost as if they are saying, there's a meme, admit that we are peaceful, otherwise we'll behead you. And because of the fear of beheading, you say, Ji Hazur, and you admit that this is a peaceful community. You admit that अरे ये तो कुछ ही लोग हैं ऐसा कर रहे हैं, few people give a bad name to the others, 99% give a bad name to the 1%. And what happens is we forget to realize that Islam is not COVID, and there is no variation of Islam. There is no Delta version of Islam. The same Islam that is being followed by ISIS, it's the same Islam which is being followed by Taliban, and it is the same Islam which is being followed by the Indian Muslim. In fact, Deobandi Islam is something that the Indian Muslim has birthed. We've given one of the most extremist, one of the purest forms of Islam to the world. The Hindu community is waiting for good Muslims who will stand up and say, stop killing my Hindu brothers. The truth is that the good Muslim is only the Muslim who follows his religious doctrine to the T. And if the Muslim follows his religious doctrine to the T and becomes a good Muslim, then he will behead you because you're a kafir. And therefore, the Hindu community is waiting for bad Muslims. Please, bad Muslims, come forward and say that you are not this. This is not Islam. Islam is peaceful. You are peaceful. We are brothers. Please, let's hug, kiss, make up. Let's live in peace. It's not going to happen. You're not living in peace. You're waiting for a civil war, and you say that the civil war is perhaps closer in the horizon that we imagined, because we have a Muslim population, 99% of whom either will behead you or will cheer the ones beheading you. The civil war is right now. It's happening. It's happening already, because even last night, a Hindu conductor was killed mercilessly by a Muslim who then recorded a video saying labaik, saying Gustakhe Rasool ki saza. I don't think the conductor insulted Islam. This was an excuse. But while he was killing the conductor, he said, jihadi abhi zinda hai. We know. Jihadi abhi zinda hai. And if the Hindu community needs to survive culturally, civilizationally, Rahul and I are wired to be pessimists. And therefore, I keep repeating ad nauseum, you're not a pessimist. Rubbish, you're an absolute pessimist. We keep repeating ad nauseum, and I keep repeating ad nauseum, that the Hindu community is documenting our end, and OpIndia is documenting our end. But on a positive note, we also need to realize that every riot, every war against the kafir was started by the Islamist, was started by the Muslim, but it was ended by us. Every time they take to the streets, they kill us for a day, day and a half, 2 days maybe, and then we rise to defend ourselves. So I think the only question in front of the Hindu Samaj today is whether we want to become Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi or whether we want to become Gopal Patha. Can I hear the crowd saying, do we want to become Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi or Gopal Patha? Thank you.
All right, guys. If you kind of need water bottles, they are right there. Probably the temperatures are high. We need to bring them down. I'll have a sip too. But thank you, Nupur. But keep it 5 degrees below that level. So, yeah. Now, without wasting time, I'll call Vinodh Kumar ji. Vinodh, please come and tell us that fabulous journey of the string.
Namaskaram. The hall is almost full. Thank you so much for all the people who are the organizers of this event on a world stage. We have a just like they have a World Economic Forum, we have World Hindu Congress. And we are here, thank you so much, this morning session. And I'm very sorry, Anna, It is not going to be 5 degrees with string, it's going to be 180 degrees. Total full-blown expose of things. Yeah. So I started my work on social media, on digital media, defending Sadhguru, my guru. And I don't know any of the outside world. I was never into politics. But then when I started digging deeper from where these attacks are coming from, it took me to George Soros and the deep state. I'm an avid reader of OpIndia. Thank you, Rahulji, for starting this. My source of information come from organizers, Swarajya, OpIndia, all these infamous publications. I mean, the Guardian and all this deep state trash that we read, they pump enormous amount of misinformation, targeted, I mean, maligning the reputation of Bharat. They treat Bharat as some kind of, snake charmers. We have seen. Slow? Not able to hear? Okay, thank you. So we'll get into, yeah. So there comes string. The reason behind starting a new channel, I used to work in the ashram with Sadhguru and channel, where if any of you know this channel, you know what I did to Zakir Naik. I made him a funny character with thug life mixed with Sadhguru, as if answering his nonsense. Heavens and everything is totally destroyed. Because if you look at the other religions, they are breeding outlaws in the society. And they are breeding this minority attitude. They're putting people into this attitude of freebies and surviving, pouncing on the government for all the things. Never want to stand up on them. Responsibility is not, their life is like bindas, because they get everything. And they complain on our people for all the atrocities happening on them. But actually, the situation is reversed.
Sorry guys, can we put the volume up somehow, please? Can we put the volume up?
Not able to hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Thank you.
I told you. So don't blame me. I told you.
Okay, I'll speak louder. So when I wanted to start my channel, I looked at the kind of branding, advertising that is going on in the West. If you look at the huge billboards on the roads in American streets or something, such useless trash is marketed in such a big way. And I'll take an example of this Garnier face cream. They come with saying a meter and you will become white in 7 days and nonsense. And people who are watching it, they're going for it. But let me tell you a secret here. If that damn cream works, in 7 days you become white, will they sell another cream? Will you go to buy another cream? There itself there is a destruction of the market, and people are not able to observe that. Because it doesn't work, the costly advertisement. They get Katrina Kaif, I don't know, I don't watch. Somebody to sell this nonsense. So I always wanted to keep up the quality and standards high at string. You have seen the videos, I don't want to talk much about it. And now, my work. So when I started reading OpIndia, and there are so many connections they have given, which took me to every other company. But if I start naming the companies, I would make enemies in the hall, because you might be an employee in that company. But without naming any of those, it is fair to make a statement that except Adani Group, everybody else is connected to deep state in some or the other way. Not to blame them, but still the contributions are going that way. When you are put in college, you've been trained to become a slave to the foreign company. So to stand on own, the question here is, how many of the Hindu organizations, how many of us own the organizations in the world? So it is all theirs. I started calling out, taking out big names, Jimmy Wales, Wikipedia. I'm a very small guy, 2 lakh subscribers, but still I exposed Jimmy Wales. We went on Twitter, we were at a point where Jimmy Wales had to come and respond to the tweets. Why are you asking for funds in Wikipedia? And then next we started taking on George Soros and these BlackRock, Rockefeller, and you take all these are big conglomerates, and I'm a very small player to go against them, but still we made a very good impact. The common man getting to know about these people has happened through String. We were at some point, it has reached to a point where there is a farmers' protest and Greta Toolkit incidents which happen only to bring about a civil war kind of situation to demolish the government. So we became the source of diverting their attention to something else. So, and also when the second hit job happened on Adani, we were trending I Stand with Adani single-handedly on Twitter. When there was no situation for that, we started doing it. Now, the deep state exposed videos, I think you might have gone through this already. So, calling out names and everything, when we use those names, Bill Gates and all these conglomerates, all my videos go shadow banned. There is no reach. Where if I do a Adipurush review video, that goes viral. But these videos will not. The big tech bias. So here comes the topic of the day. The awakening civilizational consciousness against the big tech bias. I'll take an example of the company called BlackRock. This company, it controls the world. This company introduced a scheme known as ESG, Environment, Social and Governance Investing, which means socially responsible companies get a big upper hand. And a lot of companies, there is a massive surge of companies participating in this, pretending to be socially good, but actually they are not. BlackRock, if you look at the data, they are the big time investors in fossil fuels, and their oil and emission companies are responsible for 2% carbon emission. And they talk much about, if you look at the another thug in the place, we have got this company. They talk about against guns, but they are investing in a lot of human rights violators. So this is how biased the big tech is, and Google, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, nothing are excluded in this game. And we are become a very small place, and we have become the challenges that I faced. There is no space for our voice. If you want to talk against them, against the thugs, you will become a funny character. That is what has happened. They deleted my channel on YouTube with almost like 1.4 million subscribers. If I was not subjugated, the reach would have been much more. And you have seen what I did to Dhruv Rathi and Zubair and yeah. There is much more to speak, there is much more to do. Like Nupurji was saying, we are not supposed to take the names, we are not supposed to use those words, which they are openly doing. If you look at Zubair, he's nowhere, he doesn't deserve to be on social media, but he's pulling out heavens, the kind of reach, funds, etc. So we are poor people, and the kind of market funds that are needed. For example, imagine a 30-year-old business guy handling a social media channel, and then imagine a 20-year people who doesn't have any experience in this handling with 4 or 5 staff in the office and then running a company. That is what our situation is right now. And we have bigger plans. The kind of filmmakers we are, if given funds, we would do a content which is much more interesting and brilliant than Netflix and the top OTTs. It's possible, and you might have seen Tenali RK documentary series that we did, even with a very less funds. So, problems, threats. Sometime when I was in 5 lakh subscribers, when I was doing Jihad or Jahid series, I got a call, say, hey, channel band kar. Your photo is circulating in Bangladesh and you will be gone. Sardan se juda dialogue. And then said, okay, if you want to abuse, I'm also very good at it, shall we talk? I engaged him in discussion. These bloody goat meat emotional thugs, they kind of, they don't have logic. If you talk, okay, then brother, I convinced him for almost like a 30-minute discussion, and then said, what is wrong? Have you seen the video? No. Only you're coming from watching a thumbnail. Bloody watch the video first. Put it on loudspeaker and watch the video. Am I not explaining the meaning of azan? Actually, I'm taking on that meaning, saying, I compared it to Vishnu Dasavataram, and then say, okay, you are saying only, if this is the only God we have. What about this? We have 10 here, and these are all gods. Like that it goes. And then I told him, you go so-and-so to your imam or a guru or whoever you call, and then show this video. If there is any wrong, then come back to me. They say, okay, brother. And then he disconnected. Call. The poor guy, I think, our video, he might have showed it to him. So, one more personal attack happened on me in Hyderabad. Then I started shifting places. The damn place is very insecure. But fear is out of question. Being in our home, getting scared of somebody else is what the hell? There is no logic in it. So, I had to face with internal conflicts. That's what, we are very small people to run a big office infrastructure. So we need funds and we are looking for investors. And now when YouTube deleted our channel, this is the slipper shot kind of a response we gave. 30 days, I came back with my own OTT. And the time is very limited. There is just a 2-minute trailer to conclude the session. All those who are tortured by families, ignored by friends, betrayed by close partners, there is a man here who set up an ashram to take care of you, give you free food and stay, and offer you methods to come out of the suffering. This land, Bharat, is full of such gurus, ashrams, temples, where you can find ultimate bliss and transformation. Now when you see people who want to destroy these temples, attack gurus, tell me, what should we do? A large portion of digital media is owned by thugs. Most of the top influencers are the primary source of misinformation. The so-called philanthropists won't let the dharmic voices rise. They want the manipulators, buggers, and terrorists to rise. There is a huge amount of money invested to keep us dumb, slaves, to keep Bharat as their colony. So this is an attempt from me to decolonize Bharat. Whoever insults our gods, attacks our gurus, insults Bharatiya Samskriti, let's give them the treatment they deserve. I'm also opening up this doorway to know the Bharatiya culture through wonderful web series, documentaries, podcasts, and films. If you're looking for an authentic source of information, facts and truth, this is the place for you. Just as Vedas are essential for Brahmins, gurus are essential for ignorance, string is equally essential to hunt the despicable demons who attack Sanatana Dharma. They have removed my channel on YouTube. Till now I was single, but now I'm going to multiply into hundreds of string Vinods. This is our OTT, Bharat Ka OTT. This is a platform for you to express yourself. All the atrocities happening on Hindus, insults on Sanatana Dharma, the grave injustice done by the deep state to Bharat. Among all the 140 crores of people, anyone who want to talk about this, make a film and send it to us. This is nation's OTT, people's OTT, Bharat Desh Ka OTT. There are things that mainstream media won't tell you. You can't find it on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Google, etc. Only on String. Join us in celebrating the glory of Bharat. Namaskar. That's the disclaimer. You delete our content, bloody will come back with our own website. So that is very important. If you want to come back and give a resounding response to all the deep state, we need people to invest on Hindu society, Hindu organizations. In the initial part of the discussion, that's what I was asking. How many of us own the companies? We complain about the thugs, we express our injustice being done to us, but still how many of us are taking a step and then making it happen? So I would request the private sectors and the governments to invest on OTTs so that we'll get an opportunity to showcase what we are capable of doing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
Vinod is calm, quiet, and shows the pathway in front. I was told that I can ask few questions to them, but I will forego my right to have those 5-7 minutes to give it to you. So we'll start the question answer session. However, I will request you really, please ask the question. We all want to make those statements, but leave it to them. They have their punchlines just below that 5 degrees, 10 degree maybe? 5, okay. So please.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Given that the October 7th massacre by Hamas has given too many ideas to our own peacefuls in India, do you think a civil war someday, whether we like it or not, is inevitable? And if so, how prepared are we, the ignorant Hindus, are?
Who want to pick it? Who do you want?
Both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, we observed in, yeah. It's audible? In 2022, if you look at my, cover picture that I put up on my channel, it said 2022 Civil War. But still the brilliance of Modi ji and Ajit Dovalsi and our people, it didn't happen. But still you have seen, I know when our government tried to introduce Agnipath scheme or any other scheme, CA or whatever, riots are inevitable. They are happening, so there is no control over it. I think the governments have a certain mastery to avoid this kind of situations. But at the same time, media plays a very big role because this is the frontline people connecting to, taking the information to people. So the way it is driven results in the way we handle the situations in the country.
I disagree with Anna a little bit. I don't think any government, past, present, future, can stop a civil war. What is a civil war? A civil war is essentially when two groups of people of the same country are at war with each other. Have you not been? From Rangila Rasool, when Mahashay Rajpal was murdered, to the Kashmiri Hindu genocide, to the Delhi anti-Hindu riots, to Leicester violence where Hindus are being beaten up. We've been at war for 1,000 years. So we have been at a state of civil war for 1,000 years. And no government, past, present, or perhaps future, will be able to control it unless Hindus realize that we are constantly at a state of civil war for the past 1,000 years. And Hindus need to realize that the only way to either avert or win a civil war is to strengthen groups like VHP and Bajrang Dal. It's to strengthen those people who you can call when you're in trouble. If there are 50 people, 100 people standing in front of your house screaming Allahu Akbar, Nara-e-Takbir and wanting your head, the police may be too scared to come to rescue you. In Bengal, the police was not interested in rescuing you. They had put their phone off the hook that we don't want to get calls. In that situation, the first line of defense is going to be groups like Bajrang Dal, like VHP, like Durga Vahini, so on and so forth. So Hindus need to collectively come together and strengthen these people and stop looking down on them like the elite Hindus that we are, saying that, oh, they just beat up couples on Valentine's Day. So I think that's what Hindus need to do.
Yeah, so I would like to add a point, add a historical point in this particular question. So basically we're discussing the civil war, the chances of civil war. Okay, so in 1803 or 1802, India was declared as Darul Harb. Prior to that, it was Darul Islam because Aurangzeb and Mughals were ruling this land. And it was done by using a fatwa. official fatwa from Jama Masjid. And it was done by the followers of Shah Waliullah. Who is Shah Waliullah? Shah Waliullah is the person who was behind the radicalization of, the deep radicalization of Aurangzeb. And what happened after this fatwa, 1803? The followers of Shah Waliullah came, the followers of Shah Waliullah, the Shah Abdul Aziz and his follower, Sayyid Ahmad Shaheed, he came, and due to that, we have all the firqas of Islam today. The followers of Islam, like Devbandis, the Barilvis, are the followers of that Islam. So there are deep chances of everything like civil war, because the fatwa, 1803, they're the followers of the same path of Islam. Thank you.
Okay. We have somebody at the back. Panditji.
Thank you very much. Nupur Ji, I salute your work, and Vinodh Ji as well. I've got one question which I'm going to ask, but I'm going to take the opportunity to clarify for everybody the importance of the work they do. In Leicester, Hindus were subjected to an attempt at ethnic cleansing. This is how crystal clear it was. The narrative was established that there were Hindutvalis on the streets of Leicester. That was false. We had to break that narrative. And Nupur Ji and I spoke, and OpIndia helped us to break that narrative. So I'd just like to salute and appreciate the work that they've done. We have 2 persons and their families here who have had to flee their homes in service of all of us. And there's only really one question which needs to be asked today, and that question is, what are your bank account details? You know, all of us have appreciated the work that they do, but appreciation is not enough. The number of times I've had people come to me and say, Panditji, you're doing great work, well done. And inside I always think, well, why don't you stand shoulder to shoulder with me rather than behind me? And they're too gentle and they're too kind to say this, but I'm going to say it on their behalf. The only question which each and every one of us should seek an answer to is, how do we stand shoulder to shoulder with them? They have gently asked for funds. I will commit, if your bank account details were on that slide, I would have done a transfer to you right now, and I hope everybody else does. So what are your bank account details?
Can we make questions really quick? We got really 5 minutes only. And panelists, short answers, please. Thank you.
Yeah, my question is, the number is the power. Our numbers are decreasing. Women, some of them are leftist, some doesn't want to have kids. So what future do you see for New Hindu? As long as your number, but I don't see a future in terms of number, we will be as strong.
Numbers are still on our side. Look at what happened in Delhi anti-Hindu riots. They killed us for 1.5 days. Then Hindus took to the streets and they're still crying. कि हमारे ज़्यादा मरे, हमारे ज़्यादा मरे. So self-defense के लिए हिंदू समाज के पास numbers हमेशा होते हैं. For self-defense, we always have the numbers. We never attack first. But when we are attacked, the numbers are there to defend ourselves. It's just about the decision that the Hindu society has to take to defend itself, nothing else.
We have one hand here.
Defense is the only offense.
Yeah. Can we get the mic here on the 3rd row or something? Okay.
My name is Nehal Pandya, and I am from Toronto, Canada.
Confused.
Well, I told him we can't say that right now.
We are in the media conference, and we have got some of the most brightest of the journalist community right here. My question to the entire panel is, all those who are participating in this conference are enlightened, are awakened, but that is very small percentage of number of Hindus who are awakened. We have got significant large number of Hindus who still don't believe that a civil war is possible, And we have got still large number of people who say everything is hunky-dory, everything is fine. These are all very small number of people. So how do you think that they should be awakened and made them enlightened so that they realize that there is a threat really, that we are going to become a pigeon and not a Jatayu? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so the question is, I would like to say a few things prior to answering this question, because when we talk about the Hindu Samaj, and when we, make videos like the String is doing and the articles which Nupur is publishing and AKT is doing, so these are really complex videos with facts and figures and everything. Most of the people are not interested in facts and figures. Most of the people are interested in entertainment. Khoon ki Holi became a dialogue, a tagline, because of films, because of Bollywood. Bollywood make sure that whenever, there is a Holi festival in a film, they will say Khoon ki Holi. Diwali is the Tihar of Manhusiyat. There will be killings on the Diwali day. So these kind of things happen due to film, and these kind of things made a deep narrative, a subtle narrative. People watch films for entertainment, and out of those things, they create a narrative. There is a film called Ganga Ki Saugandh. You will see that there is a Thakur who is, riding a horse, and पीछे एक बंदा बंधा हुआ है, उसको घसीट रहा है. ठाकुर उसी काम के लिए था. Brahman is always dhurt. So these are the subtle narratives films make, right? And entertainment things are the things which can create this kind of narrative, because the content we make reaches people like you. What about the masses? Masses need entertainment, and through entertainment, through films, the real, feature films, we can create a subtle narrative. So, but those kind of things need more funds, more, everything. So this is what I think on this topic.
No, but can I add one thing? I know it needs more funds and all of that, but thoda karke, we keep saying that only a few people know, only a few people know, only a few people know. Ye karke, OpIndia at least has survived 8 to 9 years because of the people. And I refuse to believe that it's because of only a few people. So I don't think we realize how far we've come in the past 10 years, how much the Overton window has shifted. I wouldn't be sitting here and saying the things I'm saying 10 years ago. I wouldn't be sitting here, or I wouldn't be writing saying that I'm proud of the Kar Seva that happened, which brought down the illegal structure called Babri. Because now my Ram Mandir is being built. I would not have been able to say that 10 years ago. There would have been an FIR against me. I would have been thrown in jail. So I don't think we've realized how far we've come. And that change is not by one person, 2 people, or 10 people. That is a societal change that has been brought about. It's the Hindu society which has brought that change about. So I don't think it's a small percentage of people. I think there is a silent majority that we are not privy to. And we will never be privy to, because a lot of people can't be like you and me, speaking our minds so freely.
All right. Okay, I got only 1 minute for last question.
Namaste.
Okay, sir.
We have to wrap it up, Jitarth. Okay. I think we are already out of time.
All right, I'll leave it to you after we finish to talk to panelists. They are right here. Take pictures and mob them. I don't mind, but let me say thank you to each and every one of you to making possible the work they do. And it is not possible without your help and support. Like Panditji said, somewhere monetary support, somewhere just text us the information. Nupur was saying people don't come on record. This is one of the biggest problems for us for reporting. Please be the soldier you want them to be. Thank you so much for joining us.